How's it going, everybody? It's Prod here, and today I'm bringing you guys a short little, news video to talk about the news, because a couple of days ago, Bandai Namco has confirmed basically like a little release date window for the first DLC of Dark Souls 3. Now, it is pretty early to talk about DLC considering the game just came out a few days ago, but it's better to know a little window of when we're going to get this DLC than to be left completely in the dark and like not knowing at all. So I like that they did that, maybe to compensate for screwing the fucking pooch so bad with the release of Dark Souls 3, with it being released on Xbox One English version by accident, then pushing the release date for the States and then releasing it in Japan first. It was fucking crazy. It was a huge mess in my opinion what they did with that release date, which sucks because I'm sure it got a bunch of people really confused that maybe really wanted to get the game, but I'm sure they'll figure it out. So the release date window, it looks like we're looking at an autumn release for the very first DLC, and they did leave themselves quite a bit of a window because autumn usually attributes to 3 specific months, and that's September, October, and November. So I'm guessing that within those 3 months we're going to see that DLC. I'm assuming it's most likely going to be around November, because that kind of falls in line with the previous DLCs that they've done. For Dark Souls 1, it's a little bit weird to say Dark Souls 1 because I'm sure they maybe weren't even expecting to have this DLC that was going to be so huge and this game that was going to be so huge, because that DLC straight up took over a year to come out. So I'm sure they were like, wow, this game actually did extremely well for us. Let's work on this DLC, and it was fantastic DLC, but it was, a DLC that came out over a year after the game actually was released. When it comes to Dark Souls 2, Miyazaki wasn't directly involved with Dark Souls 2 like the way he was with Bloodborne and Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3, so you can't really compare those release dates when it comes to the DLC, because for a few reasons. Dark Souls 2 actually did have 3 DLCs planned, and I'm sure they knew about Bloodborne. I'm sure that they knew, oh, we got to release these 3 DLCs before Bloodborne comes out, or else no one's going to want to play these games because they're going to see director Miyazaki coming back to direct this game, So, the very first DLC for Dark Souls 2 came out 4 months or 5 months after the release of Dark Souls 2, and Bloodborne was released about 8 months after the game came out. But that one, again, you can't really compare it so much, and it's kind of hard to compare all these games because Bloodborne was only going to have 1 DLC, and then they're going to have the huge release of Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 already has confirmed 2 DLCs that are going to come out, so it looks like we're going to get an autumn DLC. I'm guessing somewhere around November, where they get at least 7 months to work on this DLC, because it's probably going to be a huge expansive DLC. They haven't confirmed the second release date for the second DLC, but I'm guessing we're going to see it sometime in 2017, sadly, because like I said, this is going to be 2 gigantic DLCs, because air quotes, this is supposed to be the final Dark Souls game, and maybe we get another Bloodborne game in 2017. It seems like we're most likely going to get another Bloodborne game in 2017, if they continue the yearly release date for these games, which I'm really hoping, man. I'm really hoping we get that, because I don't mind these yearly releases, man. Dark Souls 3, a lot of people thought, Bloodborne only just came out, why are they already putting a game out only a year after? And this game is such high quality that I cannot believe it was made in a year. But I'm sure they worked on it for much, much, much longer than a year. But that was basically, the time between Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I might have a video soon about speculations on what the DLC is actually going to be about. But anyways, let me know what you guys would like to see in this DLC. But that's about it. Talk to you guys later. Peace, everybody.